Triangles that have exactly the same shape and size are called congruent triangles. Two triangles are congruent if their corresponding sides and angles have the same measures. For example, side JK is equal to side PQ. Angle J is equal to angle P. Congruent triangles are denoted by the symbol for congruence. As shown here, triangle JKL is congruent to triangle PQR. To show that two triangles are congruent, it is not necessary to show that all 6 pairs of corresponding parts are equal. The triangles can be considered congruent if they fulfill any of the criteria for congruence. Let's look at each of these criteria. If the sides of a triangle are congruent to the corresponding sides of another triangle, the triangles are congruent. This is known as the side-side-side criterion or the SSS criterion of congruence. If two sides and the included angle of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two sides and the included angle of another triangle, the triangles are congruent. This is called the side-angle-side criterion or the SAS criterion of congruence. If two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding two angles and the included side of another triangle, the triangles are congruent. This is called the angle-side-angle criterion or the ASA criterion of congruence. If the hypotenuse and a side of a right triangle are respectively congruent to the hypotenuse and a side of another right triangle, the triangles are congruent. This is known as the right hypotenuse side criterion or the RHS criterion of congruence. So, in order to establish that two triangles are congruent, they must satisfy any one of these criteria. The side-side-side criterion, the side-angle-side criterion, the angle-side-angle criterion. Or in the case of right triangles, the right angle, hypotenuse, and side criterion. Select the correct criterion and click Submit.